From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Monday, August 17th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
We know that there are real health risks to not having in-person school.
New this morning, the U.S. Surgeon General is talking only to WRTV this morning, his message to those returning to the classroom. Plus, thousands of IPS students will log on for the first day of classes. We're live this morning with how the school district will help students navigate this tough environment.
You drove the hell out of it.
Plus, a historic Indianapolis 500 will have history leading drivers to the green flag. We're trackside with the moment 33 years in the making. And good morning here. It is Monday and 6 o'clock, and thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. It is a big week for us here at WRTV. Today is Raphael's birthday. Happy birthday, Raphael. My birthday is later this
thank
week.
you so
Nicole
much.
Griffin's is later this week. So, Raphael, I think Todd has a pretty good birthday gift for us.
Well, you know, before we get to that gift, and of course, Marco Andretti has a big week. So
Yeah.
how can we beat when Marco is going to do well? We hope, right? Breaking that curse. But Todd Clausen, right? A new week, a new feel as we step outdoors this morning.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Raphael. You're exactly right. We are enjoying low humidity, comfortable temperatures here this morning. And it's not just a one-day deal. Really, this entire week for all the birthday celebrations, not only here at WRTV, but across central Indiana. If you have parties planned, we are going to be in great shape. Outside right now, a live look at IMS, where Marco took the pole position yesterday with 4 fantastic laps. Dave will have more on that coming up in just a little bit. 65 degrees is the current temperature out there. Just a light wind out of the west at 7 miles per hour. 67 in Bloomington, 62 is the current temperature up in Peru, and Muncie's at 65 degrees. And as you look at the satellite radar picture, you do notice a few showers up near Kankakee. The weather overall today is going to be really, really nice with sunshine, a high temperature of 85 degrees. There will be just the chance of a few very, very spotty showers later on this afternoon with temperatures in the mid-80s. More on those shower chances coming up. But right now, let's get to look at traffic with Lauren. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Todd. Here is a live look right now south of the downtown area at I-65 and Keystone Avenue. This is where we have that ongoing road work here at the bridge project. Northbound lanes, those are straightened back out for the most part. Just be aware of a little bit of a traffic shift in the southbound side as they're working on the southbound lanes of the interstate. Right now, everything's traveling up to speed, though, despite some lane restrictions. So that's great news for your Monday morning. Coming to you, Raphael.
Lauren, new this morning, one of the top health officials in the country is talking with WRTV. The U.S. Surgeon General, who was the state's health commissioner, has a message for all those students and teachers returning to school today and in the next couple of weeks. Dr. Jerome Adams supports wearing masks and he questions a national mask mandate.
And Dr. Adams, in light of your 3 W's, do we need a national mask mandate?
I'll be very direct with your question about a mask mandate. I am supportive of mayors and of governors, and Governor Holcomb, kudos to him for the statewide mask mandate. From a federal perspective, I think a lot of people like to say we need a national mask mandate, but they don't talk about how we'd operationalize it. But from a federal perspective, we could send in federal troops to enforce a national mask mandate, and I don't think that's anything anyone wants. We could deny federal funding to states if they didn't comply. And again, in the midst of a pandemic, as a public health professional, I'm very wary of denying funding to needy states. Or we could work with states and cities and give them the education and the engagement they need to do the right thing.
A number of school systems are starting their academic year today. IPS will go back 100% remotely. In Johnson County, Franklin schools will use a hybrid model. What is your message to parents as they are concerned at a number of different levels about sending their kids back to school?
Great question. I have a 16, a 14, and a 10-year-old. And to be honest, we debated about moving them back to Indiana so that they could go to school in person here. We know that there are real health risks to not having in-person school. Child abuse reporting is down 50% in Massachusetts. And we know we're 4 million children behind on their vaccinations. We know that children who aren't in school are more likely to be obese and to misuse substances. So real health harms for not having in-person school. But we can't forget about the fact that children don't go to school alone. They go to school with teachers, bus drivers, security guards, cafeteria workers, that the power to contain this virus lies within our hands. Please do these simple things. It's not political. Doesn't matter. The virus doesn't care if you vote for Trump or Biden. The virus doesn't care what your politics are if you're a Democrat or a Republican. But the virus does care if you're maintaining social distance, washing your hands, and if you're wearing a face mask. And if we do those things, we can get through Labor Day, we can get through flu season coming up, which is also important, and we can get to a COVID vaccine and back to some sense of normal.
The U.S. Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, joining us right here on WRTV. Thank you so much. Best of luck to you and your family.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, more of our conversation with Dr. Jerome Adams. Lauren?
Raphael, thank you. The time right now is 6:06. It is a big day for IPS. As Raphael mentioned, the district begins the new school year 100% online. And for the first time ever, each student will either have an iPad or a Chromebook to work remotely. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with details. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Yes, 30,000 students are logging into remote learning today through IPS. So quite a feat, and I am here with Superintendent Alicia Johnson. What is one thing that you would like to tell parents today, just as you guys are getting started with this remote learning?
Sure. You know, the first day of school is always a day where we're all sort of learning and navigating and getting used to things. That will certainly be the case today in a fully virtual environment. So I'd ask parents just to have flexibility and patience as they're helping their little one navigate as we're all learning and on this new way of being for the time being.
And when it comes to remote learning, you know, that full decision was made just 2 weeks ago. Talk to me about the decision process and just getting ready these past couple weeks.
Sure. You know, we ultimately made that recommendation to our board based on just the higher levels of community spread of COVID-19 that we were seeing and thought, let's start as safe as possible. We have now the technology that we're one-to-one, and we believe that we have the capacity and the capability to support our students' learning in this method until those numbers are a little bit lower than what we're seeing right now.
And what is today going to look like for students?
Well, students will be waking up here shortly and logging on. And so at a number of our schools, they'll log on with their homeroom teacher and do some hey, let's get ready for this day, some previewing of the day. We know they won't sort of jump right into classroom instruction. Certainly, there's a lot of things to learn how to navigate, teachers who are learning and students. So I imagine there will be lots of let's learn together, let's figure this out together today.
Yeah. And right now you guys are set to be full remote until October 2nd. I mean, is there discussion on that changing yet?
There's no discussion right now on that changing. You know, what we're saying and advocating to our community is please wear your masks, do all the things that we need to do to get our numbers down so that we can safely bring our students back into our building. So that's the ask that IPS has for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much for being here this morning with us, Superintendent. So some very good advice, patience, of course, for parents as we start this journey together, this new way of learning for students at IPS. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
Alyssa, thank you. Here is your reminder this morning. IPS is offering free meals to students while they are working and learning from home. The food service team are going to be providing breakfast and lunch to all IPS students starting today. Prepackaged meals will be distributed from noon to 3 Mondays and Wednesdays and 9 a.m. to noon Tuesdays and Thursdays. Meal pickup is only allowed twice per week. Pickup sites will be at parking lots on more than 55 IPS schools.
After delaying its initial return today, Franklin Community Schools in Franklin begin their school year. The extra time gave the district more time to work on its safety plan. Franklin's elementary school kids will be able to return to the classroom. Now, students in middle and high school will be on a hybrid model. They will attend school based on the letter of their last name. They will go to school twice a week, and then 3 days a week will all be remote learning. More than 5,000 kids attend Franklin schools. The district is also offering virtual learning to those families interested in that option. The opening football game for New Palestine High School will not happen this week as planned. School officials say too many players are in quarantine. In late July, a New Pal player tested positive for coronavirus. The varsity team was scheduled to play Decatur Central High School Friday. An announcement on the school's athletics website says, quote, a significant amount of players are ineligible as a result of quarantine and the Indiana High School Athletic Association's 10 practice minimum.
At 6:10, Raphael, more than 12,000 students at Indiana State University out in Terre Haute will return to class tomorrow. Students were still moving their belongings onto campus on Sunday. The process took longer than it normally does because student arrivals were spaced out to avoid large crowds. Students say they're excited to be back on campus, but they say they're worried about what the pandemic will impact next.
My largest fears are about being in the in-person classes that I have that are mixed if a student were to get it.
Well, ISU students and staff are required to fill out a health survey each day. University officials say this will help them respond quickly to any COVID-19 issues. Students and staff will get cleared or not cleared response. If a person is not cleared, that means they cannot go to any in-person class or activity. And then a university contact tracer will also reach out to them.
In just 6 days, 33 drivers will race 500 miles, and one will be enshrined forever on the Borg-Warner Trophy. This morning, we're minutes away from hearing why this year's 500 could break a decades-long curse. And today, there'll be no cursing at the forecast because Todd Clausen has a great one on this Monday morning.
Yeah, we'll feature lots of sunshine here throughout the course of the day today, Raphael. And temperatures in great shape today as we'll be climbing up into the mid-80s. Just a really, really small chance of a stray shower as we get into the afternoon hours. Most of us will not even see it. It's mainly in northern locations. We'll break that down for you and look ahead to the rest of the week coming up in your 7-day planning forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:14 and we are less than a week away, Raphael, from the greatest spectacle in racing.
We did miss the roar of the engines. We're getting our fill of that, of course, this week, and we got some of that last week. And on Sunday, the fastest 9 drivers taking to the track once again, hoping to start on the pole. Here's a look at the front row. For the first time, Lauren, in 33 years, an Andretti will start on the pole. And that Andretti is Marco, and he'll be joined by Scott Dixon and Takuma Sato. Rookie Rhinus VK plus Ryan Hunter-Ray and the mayor of Hinchtown, and they round out the top 6. Marco's top start is a step forward, snapping the Andretti curse at IMS. The number 98 car has been promising since the first day of practice. On Friday, Marco turned the fastest laps at IMS since 1996. Marco was just 2 months old when his grandfather Mario last put an Andretti car on the pole position. Now here's what he had to say about following in his grandfather's footsteps.
Actually, I thought of him because today I walked out of the motorhome. It was pretty windy, and he said he has a famous quote within us. He doesn't say it to many people, but he says, the wind will scare you, but it'll never crash you. So today, he was right. I don't know if that's right, totally, but it's pretty awesome.
Marco Andretti has led more than 141 laps at IMS, which is more than Bobby Rahal and Al Unser Jr. and Sam Hornish.
And Raphael, we're counting down to the 104th running of the Indy 500. Fans are still traveling to this speedway to just take in the sounds of the Indy cars on the track. For the first time in 109-year history of the race, those grandstands, they're going to be empty for the Indy 500. The decision made to the escalating concerns over the coronavirus pandemic in Marion County. So we wanted to find out what fans are planning to do instead, and we talked to one race fan who's been to the track every year since 1973. And this year, the race falls on his birthday, and he was hoping to be able to watch it from inside the track.
Pretty disappointing, but it's nice to at least hear the cars running. Just love it here. Miss it every year. I always count down the days after the race is over till the next one.
He always says, I can't believe it's a whole nother year I have to wait till I can come back here again.
Well, the 104th running of the Indy 500 is set for this coming Sunday, August 23rd at 1 p.m. And of course, as we get closer and closer to Sunday, Todd, we'll be keeping our eyes on you and Kevin and the whole team to see if it's going to be dry out there at the track. But as for this work week, we have a great forecast.
You know, every day leading up to the 500 is going to be pretty nice. And as we get into the 500 on Sunday, and the rest of your weekend, which I'll show you in just a second. Overall, the weather is going to be pretty nice. Just a small little chance of a shower at this point, it looks like, on Sunday afternoon. Let's look at your headlines, though, and break down your forecast for this Monday as we get going. This morning, it's pretty cool out there, but it's comfortable with clear skies and low humidity. This afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Then as we get into the evening hours, there will be the chance of just a very isolated shower that'll sneak in. And you see above normal that I've written on the bottom of the screen. That's for the temperatures today. Will be a little bit above normal for our afternoon highs. 65 right now in Indy as well as Muncie, Kokomo at 63 degrees, Bloomington at 67. Across central Indiana, we are dealing with skies that are mainly clear, although you do notice a little bit of cloud cover trying to sneak into northern locations. And as we go throughout the day today, I mentioned that shower chance. Do not let it deter you from any outdoor plans that you may have. In northern locations, there will be the chance of just a stray shower or two in the forecast as we get into the afternoon hours. And you see on TrueCast how spotty it is going to be. And it's going to be very light if you see it at all. I just don't want you to be surprised if you're in northern locations and you're outside or you're driving through northern locations and you get that quick passing shower. It is a possibility today as a front comes through the area. There's just not a whole lot of moisture to work with. And so that's why not everybody is going to see the shower threat in the forecast for the day today. Now this morning, no threat of any rain. It is going to warm up very quickly, as you see, throughout the course of the morning hours, hour by hour, 81 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. And then your high temperature today gets up to 85 degrees for your afternoon high. That puts us above normal. This evening, that shower threat is in the forecast. But again, it's very, very spotty. Otherwise, temperatures will be getting back down into the 70s. Sunset this evening is a little after 8:30 tonight. Tomorrow, it's a nice forecast for us. We start off in the 60s once again. Temperatures tomorrow in the afternoon, not quite as warm as today. In fact, today's probably the warmest day that we'll have this week. Highs tomorrow will struggle to get to 80 degrees, but with the sunshine out there, it will not be bad at all. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, Wednesday at 80 degrees, 82 on Thursday, 85 on Friday and Saturday. There's that spot storm chance on Sunday. Right now, about a 20% chance. But most notably, look at those low temperatures in the middle of the week, Lauren, in the mid-50s.
All right, Todd, looking forward to that. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is our INDOT traffic camera up on the north side. Good morning to you. I-465 here at Meridian Street and US 31. Overall, traffic here is traveling smoothly in all directions. And right now around the metro area, no crashes on the roads to slow down your commute. Raphael.
So, Lauren, the Democratic National Convention, it begins tonight. It is usually one of the biggest events for Democrats every 4 years. And new this morning, Scripps reporter Joe St. John breaks down what this virtual convention will look like.
If these were normal times on this Monday morning, we would be greeting you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, perhaps showing you a majestic drone shot of all that Wisconsin has to offer. But these are not normal times, and tonight's Democratic convention will look very different from the one 4 years ago. For one thing, there won't be crowded arenas like the ones that greeted Hillary Clinton.
How are you going to be watching the Democratic convention?
I'm watching on Amazon Fire TV.
Democrats know there's a chance this could mean fewer Americans tune in and watch. It's why they produced this advertisement. Convention planners tell me they've also hired additional production crews to make this convention pop, and we've already seen some signs of that in recent press events with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in recent days. But in previous years, watching these conventions at home was really all about the speeches. There will be plenty of speeches beginning this evening. Former First Lady Michelle Obama is tonight's keynote speaker. Senator Bernie Sanders will speak, along with Ohio's former governor John Kasich and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Not to be outdone, President Trump is also speaking today in swing states. He'll be speaking in Minnesota and Wisconsin this afternoon. In Washington and not Wisconsin, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, well, have you noticed your mail taking a little bit longer to make it to your mailbox? Coming up here at 6:27, we're taking a look at the postal crisis and what it'll take to fix it. 6:22 right now. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. It is 6:24, and here's a live look at your commute over on the west side. I-70 at Sam Jones Expressway, where you can see traffic is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. Raphael, the good news is folks are heading out to work, maybe even to school on this Monday morning. We're not monitoring any crashes or delays, so everything is smooth sailing. But right now, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
So you probably did not know this, Lauren, but here at the RTV6 official, WRTV official living room in Johnson County, there is a crystal ball. So I'm going to bring it out because I have the next viral sensation.
Okay.
Here it is. I'm going to predict this.
Okay.
Because you see, the Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington is now on a baby watch. The ultrasound revealed that giant panda Mei Xiang may be expecting. It's too early to tell for certain whether she will come to term, but zookeepers are watching her closely, and they welcome everyone to watch along on the zoo's panda cams. You can expect that those panda cams will just be overwhelmed as people watch to see what happens with the panda.
Oh, very cute. Looking forward to that. And here's another cute story for your Monday. This is a golden retriever named Kevin. He met the Clearwater Marine Aquarium's dolphins. The staff invited Kevin after seeing on his Instagram page that he loved ducks just like a dolphin named Winter.
Oh.
Yeah, after meeting the dolphins through the aquarium glass, Kevin went for a little swim with an animal care specialist and a large rubber duck. Very cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cute. So here's a lady, Lauren, that never ducks a challenge. Congratulations to Mary Clark on this Monday, August the 17th. She is our hometown hero. Mary is a community activist and advocate who during this pandemic has been working to keep many local businesses open in Indianapolis. So a big thank you to Mary for what she does and all the volunteers do here in Indianapolis. Now time to check your forecast. And Todd, it feels really good out there on this Monday morning.
Yeah, it does, Raphael. Temperatures are in the 60s. Anywhere you are across central Indiana, the humidity, that is fairly low as well. And they're off to a great start, not only to the day, but the work week. As we go through the next couple days, you're going to notice a few things. Today, we have mostly sunny skies for the most part. There is the very small chance of a stray shower this afternoon. That's why you see that thunderstorm icon in. Today is also one of the warmer days of the entire week. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler with a high temperature of 80 degrees, but sunny skies. Should be a terrific day. And then once we get into Wednesday's the day we're going to target for the start of 50-degree temperatures in the morning hours. But you notice despite the cooler start in the 50s on Wednesday, we warm up with lots of sunshine to a high temperature of 81. We'll break down not only these 3 days for you, but the rest of your 7-day planning forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you so much. Well, have you noticed a change in your mail delivery lately? Many people have, and they're starting to grow a little frustrated. Working for you, our John Matarese looks into mail delivery delays and what it may take to fix them so you don't waste your money.
The latest pandemic crisis, mail delays. People everywhere are complaining about late letters and missing packages. Gary Favors has been checking the post office every day. He's waiting on a package that's been delayed a week.
It's just been a spiral effect of missing packages, medication.
This veteran depends on the mailman to deliver his medicine from the VA, but his medicine is now often late. And when he tracked one package, it showed up as stuck in a sorting facility.
They put in the tracking number that I gave them. They looked it up. They said it's here, but they don't know what to do.
Andrea Carter is also noticing slower deliveries.
Usually if someone in the same city mailed you something, you would either get it the next day or at least the day after they said. Now it's like a whole week.
Gary started talking to friends and neighbors and soon realized a lot of them have been having mail delivery issues too. That's when he discovered it's really becoming a nationwide problem.
Yes, I've heard about a lot of people having problems with the post office.
Congress is calling for an investigation into issues that have followed the appointment of a new postmaster general this year. The Washington Post says to cope with a $2 billion deficit, he instituted a hiring freeze and cut overtime. In addition, it says many carriers are out on COVID quarantine. What it appears to mean is longer delivery times and growing frustration for people like Gary Favors.
And it just seems like it's just a big, absolute mess.
As long as the Postal Service is short-staffed, don't be surprised if some of your mail is late, too. So don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Today is the first day of classes for Indianapolis public schools. Not only is their school year starting late because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but students are also using remote learning only to start this school year. We'll have a live interview with the IPS superintendent coming up in about 15 minutes right here on Good Morning Indiana.
And now let's take you to Monroe County. Investigators in Bloomington trying to figure out what caused a vehicle to go into Lake Monroe, leaving 3 people dead. This happened late Saturday night at the Paintown boat ramp. A man and a woman died at the scene. A young boy was taken to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The names of the victims have not been released.
Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields has started a petition asking the Big Ten to reconsider its decision to postpone fall sports. Fields also wants the conference to let football teams decide whether or not to play during the pandemic. The Big Ten postponed the season last week after another group of athletes demanded several COVID-19 accommodations from the schools.
For the first time in 33 years, a member of the Andretti family will lead the field of 33 at the Indianapolis 500. Marco Andretti won the pole for the next Sunday's race with a 4-lap average of more than 231 miles an hour. The last time an Andretti was on the pole was back in 1987. Look at the excitement there. That's when Marco's grandfather, Mario, won his 3rd and final pole when Marco was just an infant. Let's break the curse this week. Let's break the curse. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, August the 17th. If you step outside, don't worry what the calendar says. It may say August the 17th, but it does not feel like August on this Monday.
Yeah, that's right, Raphael. It is so comfortable out there. You know, we postponed the race to August, and I thought it was going to be so hot, but this week it actually feels a little bit cooler, so we'll have to wait and see for this coming weekend. But Todd, what can we expect as folks start their work week on this Monday?
You know, today's probably going to be the warmest day that we have in this upcoming week as we transition, as Raphael was alluding to, a very, very comfortable air mass that's going to be in place with cooler temperatures and low humidity and lots of sunshine, which is the most important thing. Outside right now, the sky's starting to brighten on this Monday morning as you look from downtown to the north on the WRTV Weather Now camera network. Just a few fair weather clouds. They're off in the distance. Indy's at 65, 67 in Bloomington and Kokomo at 63 degrees this morning. You can see those high thin clouds off in the distance to the north, but we're dry here this morning. The morning hours will feature lots of sunshine all across the area, and everybody's in the 60-degree range. 60 right on the nose in Greenfield, 62 in Peru. Throughout the day today, temperatures will warm nice and quick. We're up into the low to mid 80s here this afternoon. This evening, there is the small chance of a stray shower. More on that coming up for you in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads to start your Monday. The sun is coming up here, as you can see, a beautiful shot of the pink skies here over Indianapolis. This is I-70 a little west of Lyndhurst Drive, where you can see traffic is really picking up both directions, eastbound and westbound, but all the lanes are open and everything is traveling up to speed. So, Raphael, more students and teachers are beginning a new school year today, and as we've told you, Indianapolis Public Schools, they're doing it all online.
And here in Johnson County, Lauren, more than 5,000 students in Franklin will begin classes just in a matter of hours. Their journey begins on this Monday. Allison Kentros is driven to make the best of this school year.
I hope that the kids will understand that we're just looking out for the best for them, and that I understand masks can be uncomfortable, but we need them to wear them at all times to keep everyone safe.
After her bus exterior checkup, then it's time to open all the windows, weather permitting.
So things will be a lot different this year than in the past.
The open windows will allow for better circulation in response to COVID-19. Before the pandemic, Bus 140 could normally transport about 60 kids, maybe 3 per seat. Now only 2 per seat will be allowed, and siblings will be encouraged to ride together.
But if we get to that 2/3 capacity, then that's as full as we can get. So hopefully parents will be there at the bus stop with their student in case we have a bus that needs to go and unload students and come back for the student.
So for clarity's sake, what you're saying is that you're going to really follow your bus limit.
Exactly.
Allison has been on the job now for 6 years. She's a mom with 2 teenagers. And so on her route, your kids are hers on the way to and from school.
It's a lot to get used to, but we can all do it. We can all work together and make this happen.
A big thank you to Allison. She and her fellow bus drivers, of course, will be sanitizing those buses between the pickups and the drop-offs. All kids in elementary schools here in Franklin will return to the classroom. Middle school and high school students will be on a hybrid schedule, 2 days in class, 3 days online. The district is also offering, Lauren, remote learning.
And Raphael, Yorktown High School up in Delaware County is moving to all virtual learning for 1 week starting today. Yorktown's principal announced the change last night. The Muncie Star Press reports it's because 3 students at Yorktown have COVID-19. As of now, the principal says in-person classes at the school are scheduled to resume next Monday, August 24th. 3,000 backpacks full of school supplies are now at the homes of children right here in Marion County. A back-to-school drive giveaway was held over the weekend on the north side. ML and Trip Mentoring Outreach Center, Marion County DCS, and several other organizations came together to triple their normal efforts. In years past, they handed out around 1,000 backpacks, but this year they know the need is even greater during the pandemic.
COVID has changed the need because where our scholars were at school and were able to get supplies through their teachers, that has been taken away with COVID because they're at home. So our goal today was to make sure that we're definitely supporting our virtual learners, that they have the supplies that they needed.
Some people, it's hard to get school supplies in the situations they're in. I really wanted to give back to them instead of just sitting at home and doing nothing.
McFarland Foods also donated food to families in need, and Prairie Farms provided 1,500 gallons of milk. ML and Trip Mentoring credited their partnerships with IPS, Warren Township, and Eskenazi Heartbeat, among others, for making this giveaway possible.
Love that, people working together during this time. The first virtual political convention of the season begins today. Next on Good Morning Indiana, as the next step in the race for the White House moves forward. Now the battle over how votes will be cast continues on Capitol Hill. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, August the 17th.
Welcome back. It is 6:39. The Democratic National Convention kicking off today, and as the election approaches, given the ongoing pandemic, issues surrounding the U.S. Postal Service took center stage over the weekend. There are new calls for the newly appointed Postmaster General to resign amid concerns over the mail-in ballots. ABC's Inez Delicatera is in Washington with the very latest.
It's one of the biggest political events of the campaign season. The Democratic National Convention kicking off tonight with a We the People theme, featuring a slate of speakers tailored to address the 3 big crises now facing the nation: the coronavirus pandemic, the ongoing economic crisis, and the national reckoning over racial injustice. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Bernie Sanders, and others all slated to speak. This as the battle over how to handle the upcoming election intensifies. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi taking the dramatic step of calling the chamber back to Washington for a rare session this weekend to deal with the unfolding crisis at the U.S. Postal Service. Democrats calling on the Postmaster General to resign, accusing Louis DeJoy, a Trump ally and GOP donor, of trying to silence millions of voters.
We've got to do everything we can to get rid of this new Postmaster General, who is clearly a campaign contributor for Trump, trying to undermine the Postal Service.
Democratic lawmakers also demanding DeJoy testify before Congress after cutting back on costs and overtime, resulting in a mail slowdown just months before Election Day.
Our elections are sacred. Men and women have died for them and the right to vote. And to do this is disgraceful.
The Washington Post reporting attorneys general from at least 6 states are considering legal action to protect the Postal Service as soon as this week. The president defending DeJoy.
Yeah, he's a fantastic man. He wants to make the post office great again.
As his administration insists, without evidence, that mail-in voting leads to voter fraud.
Universal mail-in voting is going to be catastrophic.
Do you realize how inaccurate the voter rolls are?
Funding for the post office is now on hold. 46 states and Washington, D.C. have already been warned that ballots may not be delivered in time to be counted. Inez De La Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
One of the speakers at this week's Democratic convention will be Deandra Dykes. She is the mother from Indianapolis who founded the group Purpose for My Pain after her son was shot and permanently disabled at a birthday party that happened back in 2014. Since then, Dykes has worked to put a stop to gun violence in our city, and now her message will reach a national audience.
I say that I am honoring Dre's fight for survival. And, you know, I made him that promise, and I'm just standing on my word to my son. But beyond that, you know, this is so much bigger than me and Dre. We can talk until we're blue in the face, but if you're not being boots on the ground, if you're not advocating for legislative change, then it's all null and void. And so with this new administration coming in, we're looking for policy change.
She is a mother on a mission. We may learn today when she'll address the convention. Deandra is also a proud recipient of the WRTV Jefferson Award for multiplying good.
Well, the school year begins at home, and we're going to hear from the superintendent of IPS as students begin delayed school year virtually today. Todd.
And Lauren, as we go throughout the course of the day today, there's just a small chance of a spot shower here in the forecast. And then going forward and beyond today, a nice dry stretch of weather for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And when you see the 7-day planning forecast, I really think you are going to like it. I'll share that with you coming up when the news here on WRTV continues in just a couple minutes.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is a major test for Indianapolis Public Schools today, Raphael. That school district is starting its school year late. It's also doing that with all the students virtually learning.
And of course, this is the first ever for the school district. All the kids now have iPads or Chromebooks. Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with the IPS Superintendent. Good morning, Alyssa, to you and to Ms. Johnson.
Good morning. Yes, I'm here with Superintendent Alicia Johnson. We've been talking about just this major change that IPS students and staff members are experiencing this year. Superintendent Johnson, tell me just a little bit about the choice to go to full remote learning.
Sure. So as we've been, monitoring the data for our community in terms of the spread of COVID-19, we're concerned about the still pretty high rates of spread that we had in our community. And so made the decision to start fully remote for the beginning of the school year so we could ensure the safest conditions of our students and staff to start the year.
And you also decided to make sure that each student has a device. Talk to me about that.
Sure. Coming off of the spring, when we weren't able to make sure that every student had a computer in order to access learning, it was really important for us, even before we knew we were going to be fully remote, to have a device that every student would be able to have so that they could access real-time learning with their teachers, and that's what we're set up to do starting today.
That's wonderful. And we were also talking about, not every parent has the ability to stay home with their students. So you guys have been aware of that, and you're working on some community partnerships to help out.
We are. It still takes a village to support our students and for them to grow and be successful. So we're excited to have partners in the community who have said, yes, we're willing to work alongside you to make sure that if a family is working and they need a safe, supervised space for their student, that's available. So communitylearningsites.org. There are a number of community sites that are launching this week. That's the place to go and check that out. And then the district over the next 2 weeks will also have some additional support services available for students who need them.
Okay, and then we were also talking about meals. You guys are still going to be providing meals to students.
That's right. So every single school building will still be open. Families can come, IPS families or students can come to any school site that's near them to pick up breakfast and lunch on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they can go to our website for the specific times for those pickups.
And one last question for you, Alicia. Just as we start this journey together, what do you want parents to know?
Sure. Well, certainly this week I would ask for a lot of patience and flexibility. We are all learning together, so I would ask that we be on this journey together to learn and extend grace to one another. But I would certainly say to have that, dedicated space if you can for your child to learn, and then make sure that you're spending a little bit of time this week just knowing that you know what the sites are and what students are going to, just so you as a parent can kind of get the feel of what that experience will be for your child.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Some very important advice as parents and students start this new way of learning for IPS. That's all we have this morning for you. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Alyssa, thank you so much. We wish all those young folks and their teachers a great academic year. The NBA playoffs officially kick off in the bubble today. The Lakers and the Blazers, among the teams playing today, will have to wait for the Pacers to play tomorrow. They will play their first postseason game against Miami, who they beat on Friday. The Pacers won 109-92 without key players like Victor Oladipo, Miles Turner, and T.J. Warren. They all had the day off in order to rest. Now, the win gave the blue and gold the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, here's a look at the schedule for the Pacers' Round 1 series. Game 1 is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Game 2 at 1 on Thursday. Game 3 is Saturday at 3:30, and Game 4 is Monday at 6:30. Now, if necessary, Games 5, 6, and 7 would be on August the 26th, the 28th, and the 30th. Go Pacers! Go Pacers, boom, baby. Now let's check your forecast with our very own Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. We have a great week shaping up here across central Indiana weather-wise, so we'll dive into your headlines. Starting with today, obviously. It's a great morning out there right now at temperatures in the 60s. Lots of sunshine as the sun continues to come up, and this afternoon we'll continue to have mostly sunny skies. Once we get to late afternoon, early this evening, that just a stray shower could sneak into this forecast. We'll talk more about that in just a second. There's the view from downtown to the north, a few wispy clouds off there in the distance, and that is just about it. 63 degrees in Kokomo, 67 in Bloomington, Indianapolis currently at 65 degrees. As we look across parts of the area, you can see there's a little more in the way of cloud cover to the north, but overall we'll deal with skies that'll be partly cloudy. And as we expand out, there's just a few showers that are moving through the Chicago area up in southern Wisconsin. That's part of just a weak little disturbance that's eventually going to bring in even cooler temperatures as we head into the middle of the week. So overall, it's a great forecast for us. The one little hiccup is this afternoon, as you'll see here on TrueCast, as a few of these isolated showers will flare up across mainly northern portions of the area. I think from Indianapolis to the south, for the most part, we should remain dry across the area. And most of these showers are going to come in towards sunset and then beyond into the evening hours. And anything you do see will be very, very light. That is the good news. Here's how it breaks down for you hour by hour. We're in the 70s this morning, warming very quickly. 80 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. Then high temperatures will be topping off in the low to mid 80s for us all across the area this evening. If you have plans, just that shower chance in northern locations. Otherwise, temperatures will fall back down into the 70s, making for another great overnight period for us all across the area. Tomorrow morning, you wake up to temperatures still in the 60s, and high temperatures will be a little bit cooler, only right around 80 degrees. But skies will be sunny. It'll be really, really nice out there as we go into the course of the middle half of the week. So here is your 7-day planning forecast. 80 to 81 degrees both Tuesday and Wednesday. And then as we get towards the end of the week, temperatures will come back up into the mid 80s. But I'll highlight here the overnight lows as we go into Friday or Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday rather. We're talking about low temperatures that will be in the 50s, with some areas getting close to maybe the upper 40s during the middle of the week. Despite the cool start, though, as you see, afternoons look great with temperatures in the 80s. We have a little more for you here on Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
As a great philosopher once said, you ain't nothing but...
King. So this morning I'm all shook up. The King is back, and so is the TV show that helped make him a sensation. You can now watch remastered clips of Elvis's first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. That was back on September the 9th, 1956. It's all part of a rollout of many classic clips from the legendary variety show that being made official on the Ed Sullivan YouTube channel. Wow, that's a loud audio track. By the way, that appearance by Elvis was watched by more than 60 million TV viewers. And no, Lauren, I was not alive, but I may admit to having a pair of blue suede shoes.
Okay.
I may admit to that.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Well, it is your birthday, Raphael, so we won't say how old you're turning today. Another happy birthday to you, and we have great weather for it, Todd.
Yeah, well, the temperature's 65, and that's retirement age. So Raphael is under that still. So that's like the only
way
little,
under, way under.
But as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, you do notice our overnight low temperatures do drop down into the 50s, which I'll just leave it at that as far as age goes and just talk about those temperatures. It gets really comfortable through the middle half of the week with lots of sunshine, lows in the 50s, high temperatures in the 80s. Get out there and enjoy. For race day on Sunday, at this point, it looks like about a 20% chance of just a spot storm, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. And thank you for joining us and making WRTV your choice for news. We're back here in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. Have a great Monday.